Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Rapid Fire Friday. I was just taking a peek over here. I was just chatting with my sister, Nancy. We were talking about possibly setting up a weekly walk. So now that the weather's changing, her and I both, and many of us, I'm sure, want to get out and enjoy this beautiful weather. So looking forward to that. So welcome everyone. And if you're catching the replay, I do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to tune in, and welcome to those that are live. Really do appreciate it. For those of you that are brand new to the community, my name is Annette Conrad, and I'm the owner and lead creative for Edible Impressions. And I ultimately created this group as a place for me to share my love and passion for all things decorated cookies, but more importantly, to share with you all a little bit about how I transformed my nationwide profitable business from a hobby. So I started as a hobby, like many of you, as a side gig. And frankly, when I started it, I had no idea that it was going to be the livelihood for my family for as many years as it has been. And so I just genuinely, after so many years, 17 years of being in business, I truly want to give back to those that are interested in doing something similar. And here's the thing. I worked really hard, and I had a lot of late nights. I had a lot of long weekends because I was working full time as I was doing my hobby, which then turned into a side gig, meaning that people started paying me for my work, but I was still working full time. So you kind of are following me. Where I'm getting to is that early on, I don't think I was working all that smart. I was working really hard, but I think I was working too hard. So again, I'm here to share with you some tips and tricks for you to fast track your hobby to business. So welcome everybody. And just so you know what Edible Impressions does, we do create, my team and I, so when I say we, I'm a women-owned, family-operated business, and I have several people on my team. And what we do is create memorable and meaningful decorated cookies for personal and professional celebrations. And I also do teach online, and I do virtual experiences for corporations. And I love all things event planning. That was my background for 24 years. And so I truly enjoy working with my experiential companies and my professional businesses to see how we can help them with their clients or prospective clients, employees. So the cookies are a wonderful opportunity to share appreciation and showcase their brands. Okay, but on to Rapid Fire Friday. Okay, I do have the bell ready to go. So if this is your first Rapid Fire Friday, welcome. Please go back in the archives and watch the past several months. Every Friday I come on at 10 o'clock, and you can see I talk very fast, and that's what's important with Rapid Fire Friday. And so what I do is I look at the last week and I pick 5 questions and I answer them in rapid fire format. So I'm involved with other groups. I have conversation with my clients. I love to chat with other cookiers, and I've also been involved with fundraising right now. So some of the things that come up I want to share with you for you to be able to learn and grow in your own journey. This week is actually going to be a little bit more on the technical side. So technique, there's a lot of questions going around about color bleed. I think there's always questions about color bleed and other things. So it's going to be a little bit more technical. And then we will get into some more of the business why side of the masterclasses that are coming up. So I'll talk about what the upcoming masterclasses will be. So first things first, question number 1, we're going to focus a little bit on the group rules. Now, I am not a big believer in having a lot of really strict rules, but as I noticed that the group was growing, I did feel the need to add in a couple of more. They're not terribly difficult to follow, but a couple of the rules that we have here in this private Facebook group is some of your standard ones, okay? Be kind and courteous to your fellow group members. You, of course, want to respect people's privacy. So, ask permission if you're going to share something outside of the group. If you feel like you should ask permission, you probably should. So let me know, if that is something that you have questions about. Other one is no copyright or trademark content. Another one is stay on topic. Reach out to your admin. So I am your admin. I do have a couple of experts within the group, but honestly, if you could at this point reach out to me if you have questions, concerns, if you would like to collaborate on something, that would be great. And then finally, the last rule is please do not share or post either free or paid events within the group. And it's not that I don't want you to share and open up opportunities. I think it's great. And I really appreciate you doing that. But what I would ask is just reach out to me first, because what I'm really trying to do is not duplicate efforts. Okay. And there might be an opportunity for us to collaborate. I am, my event planning skills most times takes over. And so I like to be a little bit more strategic. I like to be planning ahead a little bit. So again, it's not that you won't be able to share that event, whether it's free or paid. I really would like this to stay as a free group right now. But just reach out to me and let's just chat about what event it is that you would like to publicize in the group. So again, when it comes to the no copyright, the trademark, I did remove a couple of posts. And again, no offense, I just want to protect Edible Impressions brand. I am still working on my Facebook page to remove branded characters that I had created early on in my business. So when I was doing this as a hobby, and then when I started to do cookies for sale, I was doing branded characters, but I no longer, and I haven't for many years, because of the risk involved, and really because you want to give due credit to those artists that created that content. So just be aware of that. And here's the thing, for you folks that are just starting off, try not to do those branded characters, because what's going to happen is when you're ready to create that website and you want to start that social media and you want to publicize that you are a business, you don't want to put those branded characters, trademarked designs out there. You really shouldn't, and you don't have permission to. So you're not going to have any pictures to be able to share with your prospective clients. So there's a number of reasons why you don't want to do that. Okay, so moving on. When I say stay on topic, basically just stay in your lane. I talk about that a lot. Staying within your niche. And that's the same thing for the group. I just want to keep it focused on why we're all gathered together. There are a million different groups out there. So if you want to talk about other things that don't pertain to creating your side gig to a business, or you don't want to talk about cookies, then, please do invite yourself to other groups. I'm not kicking you out. I just want to stay on topic. So thank you so much. And then I think I talked about the last one already. Reach out to me. Honestly, I'm very accessible. I don't mind people private messaging me. That would be wonderful. Okay, that was a really long one. That's going to be the longest one of the 5. So number 2. Okay, so this gal says, I am so new to this. I just finished these Mother's Day cookies, and this was a Thursday. Okay, so it was the Thursday before Mother's Day. I don't know if I ice them too soon. Can I put them in a container and refrigerate them until Saturday morning? Please help. So here's the thing. I may have talked about this before, but it does come up. So I think it is a pain point for folks, or an unsettling question here. My take is that in my experience, you do not have to worry about your cookies drying out. There's plenty of moisture in those cookies. So first of all, when you're drying your cookies, leave them out on the countertop. There's no need to put them on paper towel. In fact, I would avoid putting them on paper towel, because what happens is that paper towel is pulling out the moisture. You don't want to lose that moisture in the cookie. So we are here at Edible Impressions producing a large volume order cookies. And so they're not always done the day before, 2 days before. Sometimes they're created 3 or 4 or 5 days before they're actually being packaged and shipped. Well, they're being packaged when they're dry, but they're not being, they're being shipped out. So sometimes our clients are receiving their cookies, but they were produced possibly 5 to 7 days before, depending on how long it takes to ship them. We do make them as close as we can, of course, to the event date. But once they're packaged, those cookies are going to be, if you're using royal icing, they're going to stay fresh and delicious for easily 7 to 10 days, even longer. But I always say consume within 7 to 10 days of receipt. Then you can certainly freeze them. And then I'm not going to go into all freezing because that's a little bit more involved. But we've talked about that in the group. So just go in the search and type in freezing cookies, and I'm sure you'll see some conversation on that. But no worries, Thursday to a Saturday, 2 days, no need to refrigerate. In fact, don't refrigerate, and no need to freeze. So just put them in an airtight container and you're good to go. All right. I just want to say hello to a few folks. Hello, Lee. Hello, Laura. Appreciate you joining live. I really do appreciate it. So just give me a quick comment, give me a thumbs up if you're on live. And if you are watching the replay, thank you very much again. And just type in replay. Any of the questions that you pose while I'm going through Rapid Fire Friday, I will absolutely post session answer those questions. So, okay. So here's the next question. Oh no, and a sad face with a teardrop. I keep seeing posts about butter bleed, and I kept hoping it would never happen to me, and now it happened. I left my cookies in the oven overnight to dry, and this morning I found them like this. It was an adorable set of these teddy bear cookies that were a dark chocolate brown. They were really cute. And I noticed, and it was hard to see where the butter bleed was, but it was maybe just on the side, very, very faintly. And it honestly looked like she intentionally made that. So I didn't see any problem with the design. They looked really cute. And I actually like that when you do some dark shading or if you airbrush just to give a little bit of texture. So they looked great. I mean, there was no cause for concern whatsoever, but I know it was frustrating because that's not what she wanted. And, you know, obviously. So here's my take on it. Because they were set in an oven with the door closed, I'm not sure what the temperature was, but we did chat a little bit after. I decided that that was not color bleed. Honestly, what happens with color bleed is I think it's more from the color gel. So the amount of gel that you're putting in, and then also whether or not there's enough airflow to dry those cookies. So I think what might have happened is when she had them in the oven overnight, even if the oven was off, there was still moisture and heat trapped in there, is my guess. I mean, no matter how much you cool an oven, the moment you close that door, there's still going to be heat in there. And I think what happened is that moisture went into the frosting, not necessarily the baked cookie bringing the moisture out. So that's my best guess. That's in my experience. I very rarely ever experience color bleed. And when I do, it's because I've either oversaturated my color or I covered them. And now there's no place for that moisture to come out of the frosting. And so it just darkens the color because it's too wet. All right, so that was a long answer to that question. Hello, Debbie, and hello, Kelly. Thank you so much for watching. I'm very excited. You know, the first couple of these that I did, it was like crickets. Of course, lots of replays, but it's so nice to see people coming on live. And I know this is a tough time. It's a Friday at 10 o'clock. Folks are working. I get it. But thank you so much. Okay, so on to the next question. We've got 2 remaining questions. So this person says, help, what is the trick for making dots without the little points coming up on every single one of them? I am not doing a wet on wet. This is on a dry cookie as a border. Okay, so that is a really great question. And if you don't know what a wet on wet technique is, it basically is taking, let's say 2, 3, 4 colors, however colors you have in your design, and they're all the same consistency. And so maybe you outline and you flood immediately, you do not wait, and you drop in a design with other colors. What happens is it's going to blend right in. So it becomes a very flat, there's no texture, there's no raised frosting. It's a wet on wet. So it really gets, it's a beautiful, beautiful technique. And it's really popular with the roundhouse. And I will demonstrate that coming up soon because people have been asking about that. So it's really cool. But she's asking about adding dots or polka dots on a dry cookie where you don't get those little peaks on top. It's really annoying, those little peaks on top, or the craters are really annoying. I tell you, consistency is going to be the key for that. So if you are getting those peaks, I know, sometimes people are like, oh, I can take a little toothpick and I can push it down, or you can, wet it and drop it. Don't wet. And I've seen people do this. Wet the top of a small paintbrush or a toothpick, because what happens is you're asking to get craters. Because now what's going to happen, a crater is when it sinks in and you get that little hole. When you wet the frosting before it's drying, you're adding weight. And so now when it starts to dry, that little water droplet, as tiny as it is, it's going to sink in and you're going to create a crater. So don't do that. What I would recommend is putting it back in a bowl, adding just a tiny, tiny touch of water until you get that right consistency. Test it again and give it a little dollop. And then if those peaks are gone, you're right there. If it starts to get too flat, you went too far. So again, a little bit of trial and error every time. All right, and practice makes perfect. So just practice. All right, so the last question, rapid fire format, and I know I'm way over the time. I should change this to 15 minutes because I can't hit the 10 minutes. All right, really quickly though, just this last Wednesday, I did hand lettering take 2 with a projector. How to use a projector. So it was really, really good session. We had a lot of people come on, a lot of great questions. I went in post-event, answered all the questions, added a list of popular brands in the guide section of the Facebook group. And the things that we talked about was why use a projector? Is it worth the investment? Why using a projector is a challenge for most people, because there are folks that resist using it. We even had a few people say they have one. They've had one for months, but never broke it out because they didn't know how to use it. They're kind of afraid of it too. We talked about brand features and prices. I also demonstrated how to set it up. I demonstrated how to use it. And then I also went through troubleshooting and pitfalls. So if you didn't watch that, I do highly recommend that you watch if you are considering purchasing a projector. And in the guide, I also listed all the most popular brands. And I've had experience with 3 of them. And I do include that in the demonstration. So there you have it. So mostly about technique, a little bit about the rules. Sorry about that, but just want to make sure we're all on the same page. And so I want to allow you certainly to go a little deeper on any of these conversations, these topics. So post in the feed. I welcome you to. The next live that I'm going to be posting this morning, as soon as I get off here, will be May 18th, a Wednesday. I'm always on live, free masterclasses, Wednesdays, always at 6:30 to 7:30 Central. They're always recorded, so you can always watch the replay. I think I'm going to take it into talking about confirmations and agreements, okay? I know it's an admin duty, but for those of you that are thinking about transforming your hobby to a business, it is honestly one of the first admin tasks that you should create. So when I say confirmation agreement or confirmations and agreements, is how are you communicating to your clients once they place an order? What are the terms and agreements that you're going to share with them to protect you as the artist and as the business owner, and also protect the client as the purchaser? So really, really important. So it's, again, not the most glamorous part of your business, but very, very important and very critical if you want to, in the end, create profit and have less stress in your business, and you want to exceed your clients' expectations. So really, it's going to be a very, very valuable one. So I welcome you to join me on May 18th. I will create the event right after I'm done here. And please share. And otherwise, I will see you again soon. I hope everybody has a beautiful weekend, and fair weather fan. I will be watching the Bucks game tonight. What an incredible game that last one was. So that's where I'll be this evening, relaxing after a really busy week. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining.